Okay, when you're ready, let's go.
Hello, and welcome back to what I believe is episode 15 or 16. I think it's 15 for the Zandvoort Grand Prix in my Aston Martin driver career mode. I'm going to say 15, yeah, 15. But if you haven't seen it already, go check out last episode because we tried an insane alternate strategy going from the mediums to the softs to bring home some points for the Belgian Grand Prix last episode. And now we're going to try and continue our form of scoring some points, as Zandvoort is probably my best track on the Formula 1 game. Probably actually a close second, I'd say, to Jeddah. I really like these two circuits. I like the high speed, quick cornering nature of them. But now, coming on to our first outlap of the day. Obviously, still in the Aston Martin. We're obviously not going to change. But for now, just heating up the tyres. We got a Williams ahead of us, I think, and a Red Bull behind us. So at this point, I'm kind of getting a bit worried about the Red Bull, but it shouldn't really matter, as I've seen around Zandvoort, the AI like to have a bit of a fight on qualifying laps if they get too close behind you, because the player line is very different to the AI line. But right now, coming up into turn 1, Tarzan corner, going a tiny bit wide, just not being able to get the front end turned in quite that well. Turn 2, take as much curb as possible, not quite, go a bit wide here. This is the corner that the AI like to attack you at. Try and get good rotation, get the power down early for that corner there for the long full throttle section. Now going into the quick right-hander down to 5th gear, quickly back up to 6th, get on the throttle, use a lot of that curb, down a gear through there, pretty much a lift, not much braking through here, hard braking here, down to 3rd gear, get on throttle as soon as possible, get a bit wider, try and close off the corner, once again going wide through that section here, opening the DRS for the second time this lap, going here, braking not on the curb, just beside it, about halfway through the curb, quick change of direction through there, getting the power down smooth is key through there, getting no wheel spin, quick slot down to 5th gear, get the power down, full throttle till the end of the lap, staying low on the banking. If you go too high, you will spin out, staying close to the pit lane, and we come out to set a 1:12.5, which for now puts us in P3, but it's not the best lap we've ever done, and right now we're sitting probably, once everyone's done a lap, in around P19, P18 territory. And well, that is not the lap we wanted, so we are going to have to go again to try and improve. As I said at the start, Zandvoort, one of my better tracks on the calendar, as once again, I know where I can improve the time, getting a bit tighter through Tarzan there. You can see gaining a bit of time there onto the Delta, but we're still just a bit too slow on this lap, about 2/10 up now. Can we get a good exit through here? Not as good as lap 1, as we lose around a 10th going through that corner there. Long full throttle section, losing even more time because of the exit from that corner. Sticking in 5th gear this time, not keeping 5th, so it was a very quick upshift into 5th, losing a lot of time through there. We're going to have to find some time in the latter stages of this lap, find about half a 10th through there, then we lose about half a 10th again, but now we're gaining on the straight, got a good exit out there. We're about 600ths of a second up, braking as late as we can through there, taking a bit of curb there. We can probably take more there. I'm just trying to gauge where we can take curb and where we can't at this point in the races. We're around 3-4 tenths up on our best lap time, charging to the line now, staying low. We're going to improve our lap time by what I believe is going to be around 2 and a bit tenths, and we're doing a 1:12.3, which is going to put us in P16 ahead of our teammate Sebastian Vettel, who set a very similar lap time to us, but now setting up for our third lap. We're just letting the AI through here. As I said on the first lap, they do like to get a bit aggressive on qualifying laps around here. Don't know why. It just seems a bit boosted around Zandvoort. I don't know if that's the word to say, but it sounds about right. letting the Ferrari through there. I believe we let through a Williams and a Red Bull. Might not be a Williams. I'm not sure. I know we let through a Red Bull. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that is the Williams there. And there's the Red Bull. As we are causing yellow flags there because we're slowing up. But we now know we're not going to be attacked. I believe we have a Mercedes right behind us, but we can't do anything about that. Actually, that might be an Alpine. Sorry for that. As now we know this lap, we're going to have to be as perfect as possible into Tarzan. We'll break the latest we've broken today. Lose quite a bit of time there, but can we gain time back on the exit? Yes, we can. But we're still down by about 6/100ths per second through the banking here. Can we gain time on exit again? Yes, we can. We got a good exit out of the corner. We're gaining. We're green again. About 2/100ths of a second up. Take a more curb there as possible. Cut as much as we can. Once again, down to 5th this time we choose. We lose a bit of time, but we are going to gain more time on exit through the hanging section there. Braking around the 50-degree markable. Trail baking. Trying to get that power down earlier through the DRS section here. Can we gain more time? We gained a lot of time last lap. We're going to gain a lot more time this lap as we're now 3/10 up on our lap. Can we keep this through there? Taking even more care than last time. We're getting more and more confident through that section as time goes on. We see we're catching up to the Williams ahead, which is in turn holding up Sergio Perez. 5th gear through here, getting as much curb usage there as possible. We're going to go up and up. We're gaining through the corner. We're around 5/10 up on our lap. This has been a massive improvement, and that's going to put us into, I believe, we are going to be P13 for Sunday's race. And yeah, guys, this is going to be a good one. Let's get into it.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit. We're 25 miles away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with a 678 metre main straight heading into turn 1, Tarzan corner. And on that straight with DRS open, that'll be the best overtaking opportunity on this track. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz and Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Bottas and Mick Schumacher. The engineer, Gasly, Lando Norris. They've taken a grid penalty, and Vettel, Tsunoda, Perez, Alex Albon and Kevin Magnussen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Joe and Nicholas Latifi. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay guys, so as you can see, there have been some penalties in the grid order, and we're now up to P11. Our engineer is suggesting a soft hard strat, so we're just checking the race director because that seems like a very confusing strategy to me, because normally it's all recommended medium hard, but we're obviously getting tyre wear upgrades in, which are going to probably help us in this race. Starting on Sauce, our engineer thinks we're fast on Sauce, thinks we can make up places at the start. Let's see if we can prove them right. Lining up alongside Pierre Gasly with Mick Schumacher in the Haas right ahead of us. Somehow we set red but don't get reset. I believe it was a little bit glitched there. But now, getting ready for the Zandvoort Grand Prix. We're going to go to 5 red lights. It's Ferrari on pole, Mercedes alongside. As we go green in Zandvoort, and we're away for the Dutch Grand Prix. Good start from ourselves. We're making a run on the Haas, and we're diving up on the inside of 4 cars into turn 1. Alonso fights us back. He's also on soft tyres, as we are now ahead of the 2 Alpines. We're up into P7 after turn 1 and 2. We're going to go round the outside of Lando Norris, see if we can get past the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz in the same corner. Not quite. We're side by side with Lando Norris, still side by side through this full throttle section. ERS deployed, but trying to get ahead. He's on mediums, we're on softs. Oh, sorry, that's Daniel Ricciardo. My mistake there. We get ahead. Little bit of wheel banging there, as we're losing a bit of time to the Ferrari head. But we've had a major start. We've gone from P11 to P6. What a start from ourselves. Carlos Sainz ahead of us. Fernando Alonso behind us now as he's got past the McLaren. As now we need to work on getting up close to Carlos Sainz. We also have vehicle condition there because the car felt a bit understeery there, but it's probably just our high fuel running as we did have no damage. Just checking from the contact, Ricciardo not getting any damage in that section there. As you can see, not quite used to the car on high fuel. We did do, I believe I did a practice session, like actually driving it, no quick practice. I felt fine. Charles Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the race, much to be expected there as we set a lap time, which I think is around 4 seconds slower. Once again, going wide through Tarzan corner. Will that invite Fernando Alonso to attack us? He's around 3 tenths behind us. As you can see here, we're going a lot wider than the AI, trying to get a very good run down this full throttle section with the ERS deployment. At this point, we have enough ERS upgrades that deploying around the lap just isn't really a problem. We can pretty much spam the ERS at this point, which is so helpful against the OP engine power of the AI. But you can see the AI are still slightly better drivers in those slightly better cars, as Fernando Alonso is sticking onto the back of us around 3.5 tenths behind us at this point in time. As now on to lap 3. Alonso still behind us. Is actually, oh, don't know what happened there. He did slightly get ahead of us and then we jumped. I'm sorry, that's an editing mistake. That is my fault and I will try and fix that. No, I'm not. But Fernando Alonso did get ahead of us briefly, but we did get back ahead of him shortly after, as he is still fighting with something. We are losing time to the cars ahead, such as Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen, who are about 4 seconds up the road, 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds up the road, as Fernando Alonso is still fighting behind us. He's around 5-6 tenths now, as we are just trying to stay ahead for now, not really wanting to fight Fernando. If he's a lot faster than us, 100% we let him go, but at this point we are, I believe, faster than him. As you can see, we are staying ahead quite a bit. On to lap 7 now. Cars ahead about 8 and 9 seconds ahead of us. Fernando Alonso still 5 tenths behind us. We are kind of at the front of this massive train, as there's yellow flags behind us, and Daniel Ricciardo suddenly drops down the order. Has he had an engine issue, or has he just spun out? There's no indication to say he's out of the session. Let's go on board with him and see what's happened here. Through turn 1, out to Tarzan, onto the power, and he spins it. Too much power input into the car, and he spins it. What a shame for Ricciardo, as he was running in P8 on medium. So once Fernando Alonso and I pit, he could have been on for good points in this race for McLaren. We get hit from behind by Fernando Alonso, and he's going to go side by side with us, pulling ahead. He has no front wing. He has half a front wing. No end plate on the front wing. We brake late, cover him off, and we are now back ahead of Fernando Alonso, pulling off another defensive master move from ourselves, in my opinion. As you can see, Verstappen and Sainz 10 seconds ahead of us. We are not caring about them anymore in this race. Fernando Alonso behind us is our main rival. He's a second and a half now, and he's coming to pit for that wing damage now. His teammate Esteban Ocon is going to be the one attacking us. As now onto lap 10, we are going to pit as our soft tyres are dropping off. We are going to fit the hard compound of tyre to the end of the race. Pierre Gasly pits right behind us. Quick stop from the team there, but we do get held up by the Williams coming into the pit lane, and we're going to go out inside the Haas, but we stay ahead of Pierre Gasly, who boxes behind us. So I assume he got held up as well in the pits. And now coming out of the pits, we're going around turn 2 as we have a really weird kind of moment with the car. It like bottomed out through the corner, and something that I did notice is if you look in the top left, we're still in the pits as going to the hill. Oh my god, it happened again. We've been hit from behind by Pierre Gasly. Oh my god, that is a massive collision. He's out of the session. The safety car is out. Let's go on board with him here. You can see all of a sudden our brakes just locked. He goes into the back of us. We go spinning round. His front right shears off, and he's into the barriers and out of this race. As what a shame for the AlphaTauri man, as he was doing quite well in this race. We did a perfect little spin there, as that is one of the weirdest glitches I have ever seen in the Formula 1 game. As, I don't know, it like never let us come out the pits. As now we just got to catch the safety cars. We get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I don't know if the game's noticed this, but we're not in the pit lane, as this might become a problem. So to try and fix this and to get rid of our penalty, we are going to pit and fit the medium compounded tyres, and we're going to try and go to the end of the race on these. But what I'm noticing now is we've pit, and I think Vettel pit ahead of us, I'm not sure, but our pit crew aren't going to serve our penalty. They think we're going to be better in this race, keeping that and not losing any time, but we're behind the safety car, so why wouldn't you take the penalty? It's getting quite stupid at this point. But now we got to try and attack and build a gap of around 5 seconds. I'm really not looking hopeful at scoring points. We're in P19. We are under the safety car, so we are going to catch back up to the pack. We'll be on mediums. They're all going to be on hard, but later on in the laps, they're going to be on much fresher hards. Well, much fresher. They're going to be on the same lap of hards, so they're going to be in better condition because they're hard tyres compared to our soft tyres, which is just going to leave us in a complete and utter, probably defenseless position at the end, as we got to make moves starting this lap. We're deploying the ERS, trying to get past Daniel Ricciardo. We're back behind the McLaren now, so we've had to pit twice, almost going into the back. We had a bit of contact with the back of Nicholas Latifi, but we are through with him. Our teammates fighting with Daniel Ricciardo ahead. We've got to get past them quickly. We go round the outside. We're in a sandwich between Vettel and Latifi, but we are around, getting better drive on those medium compound tyres that we have fitted to the car. Daniel Ricciardo is our next target in the McLaren, much faster car. Can we stay with him and maybe use him to get round the lap? As, yeah, he is just our main target in this race. Can we do any cheeky moves through the braking zone? No. Trying to go a bit wider, trying to get a bit more acceleration, a bit more top speed, trying to maybe make a dive around the inside. Not quite. As now into the straight here. This is probably one of our better overtaking opportunities, so we're going to have to utilise to get by this race. We're going to dive up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, not taking much curve, squeezing him out as much as we can. Kevin Magnussen ahead of us, but guys, you may notice, even though we're making all these overtakes, we've still got to build up a 5-second gap to them, or these overtakes are pointless. So deploying the ES, we got such a better run through the banking, but the Haas just has such a better top speed than us, and he's going to pull out to the side, pull out in front of us, but we go up his inside. We have the better racing line, and we are now up into a provisional P13, but we are not quite going to be able to keep those places if we don't get ahead of them. Fighting with Fernando Alonso now, similar situation here. We're deploying ERS up the full throttle, but the AI have a bit more top speed than us. Similar to Daniel Ricciardo on the first lap, he's going to hit our inside, not wanting to back out of the corner, and none of us are. We squeeze him out to the curb. We get the inside optimal racing line, and we are through on Fernando Alonso. Guan Yu Zhou, our next target in the Alfa Romeo, with Alex Albon ahead of him, trying to make moves quickly. Can we make a move similar to Daniel Ricciardo on the inner straight, deploying the ERS? Can we make a kamikaze dive bomb? We're going to try for it. Oh, he just gives us the room, and we're through into P11, almost into the points paying positions. But once again, with that 5-second penalty, can we keep those positions? Alex Albon in the Williams, he takes a bit too much curve. You can see his floor hits the ground, as now DRS is enabled onto lap 17. We go up the inside of Alex Albon. Good move from us. We're now into the points paying positions. Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri ahead of us. Can we make a similar move? Go very wide out of the banking. Try and get that good acceleration, early acceleration. Get that better top speed, as the AI are using a lot lower drag setup than we are to get around this sunny Zandvoort circuit this afternoon. As Schumacher ahead of Tsunoda, that is going to probably be one car that we really need to get ahead of, as in the Constructors' Championships, I believe. Actually, I don't know at this point. I'm not going to say it because I know what it is in a few races, but we don't talk about that now, as they are probably our closest rivals in the Constructors' Championship at this point in the season. Still not able to find a way past Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri. Seeing if we can maybe make a similar move that we did to Kevin Magnussen out of the banking. We know we're a bit faster around the banking. We've got a bit more confidence to use ERS through the banking, as you can see. Getting the power down. DRS trying to get a little bit of slipstream, pull out of the slipstream, try and get side by side of him through turn 1. We're going to switch to the outside, and we go around the outside of Yuki Tsunoda. He's going to fight us for a bit, but we are eventually going to end out on top in this scenario. As now Mick Schumacher in the Haas trying to make a move on him already, similar to before, getting the drive, deploying the RS, sitting in the slipstream of Schumacher, pulling out, see if we can get a little bit of a look down his inside. We're going to dive up his inside, and we are still with him. We squeeze him out a bit. That may have been a bit dirty, but I don't really care at this point. As now onto lap 18, right ahead of us is Esteban Ocon in the Alpine, once again trying to get that better drive out of the corner. We are through, almost on him. We're going to go up the inside. Very much copycat move, so we're getting very good at in this race. And we have Norris and Bottas ahead of us, and there's a bit of a gap to the cars ahead of them. So I assume the best we're going to be able to get in this race is P5. But then we got our penalty, which I'm going to keep bringing up because I think it's a stupid penalty that I shouldn't have, and I probably should have served it under the safety car. But you live and you learn, as we're going to have a little bit of a cheeky look around the outside of Lando Norris as he gets slowed down a lot by Valtteri Bottas. See if we can shape for a move into the fast right-hander here, but still not able to do it on Lando Norris, as I could do it on the slower cars, not on Lando Norris in the McLaren. Now on to lap 23. Can we pull up a dive up the inside? There we go. Squeeze him out as we are through on Lando Norris up into provisional P5. The Alfa Romeo, Valtteri Bottas up and next. We need to get past him as quick as we can and start building a gap. As you can see, we have about a 3.5 second gap to the Alpine of Esteban Ocon behind, and that's giving me confidence that we can score some big points in this race. These medium tyres still feel really nice at this point in the race, not really having any problems, as we are now up into P4 in this race. And now it's all about building that gap to Valtteri Bottas, trying to keep these mediums on our side and see if we can get another, I believe this will be our second P4 if we can hold this position, as we did get P4 in France all those races ago. As we've had, what I find with the Aston Martin, on its good days it's extremely good, but then on its any other day it's very, very bad. Like Zandvoort, this circuit we can get, as you can see, we're in a good position to get a good result. Saudi, we had a very good result. France, we had a good result. The higher speed circuits is where the Aston Martin seems to come into its own. As you can see, we did get told to box for softs at one point, but we ignored that, as I thought we could make a gap, as there's a car out there. Maybe we need to go see what's happened with him. We'll go have a look at that in a minute. Now on to lap 29. Quick update here. Yellow flags ahead. That'll be for the car that's out, and I believe it's a Williams. I believe it's Nicholas Latifi. As let's have a look there. Yes, you can see he has an engine failure as soon as we cut to him. He's right behind our teammate Sebastian Vettel, as he's slow, and what a shame for the Williams. He's not in the points. Williams still haven't scored points in this season, which is a shame for them, because they have actually had some very good performances, but most of the times they've been getting points. They've been pushed out by yours truly. As yeah, I should stop saying I feel bad for Williams, as I'm the one who took them out of points in Silverstone, and I think Belgium as well, which, to be honest, I probably yeah, I want the points. Lap 35 here. We're still in P4, but Valtteri Bottas, we have a gap to Bottas, but Norris is still 6 tenths behind us, so we're going to lose a place to Norris. We got to do this strategically to make sure that we can get that P5, which we are online for, and not fight enough with Norris that Bottas gets within 5 seconds of us. Now on to the final lap of the race. Norris is quite far back, as we have yellow flags behind us. That's coming into the banking, as I believe let's go have a look at what happened to Fernando Alonso out of the session. Let's see what's happening here. Has he gone into the back of Joe in the Alfa Romeo? His teammates leading this train. Nothing's happened yet. Does he go into the back of? No, he's got an engine failure. Second engine failure in that section of the track. 3 retirements today. Pierre Gasly, Nicholas Latifi, and Fernando Alonso. 2 of them with engine failures. 1 of them with what I'm going to call is a game glitch, because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But now coming to the end of lap 36, these yellow flags are going to help us not get overtaken by Norris. But the penalty is still going to be applied. We are going to cross the line in P4, but we are going to get P5 in this race thanks to a undeserved penalty for speeding in the pit lane whilst not in the pit lane, which is a bit confusing. But we did do a massive drive there from P19 to P5. We get driver of the day, deservedly. In my opinion, I am tooting my own horse here, as Mercedes are going to win. I believe George Russell won the race, as it's a Mercedes 1-3 with Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari in the middle. I believe this championship is getting very close. It's about Charles Leclerc, who's got a pretty big lead up ahead. But then behind him, there's 3 or 4 cars, so we're all within about 20 points of each other, fighting for P2, which I believe Charles Leclerc's had a lot of DNFs in this season. I believe that this title fight is going to go down to the wire. But for now, that's probably the best race that we've done. I don't think Seb was in the points, sadly, so not the best, but we have gained to Haas in the Constructors' Championship. We've gained in our Drivers' Championship, as now looking at the podium here, gonna have lovely celebrations for the boys from Brackley there for their engine. I can't remember where the other one is at this point, but for now, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time for the Italian Grand Prix. Bye bye.